to be making shepherd's pie. First I'm going to go through all the different ingredients that you're going to need, which I have in front of me here. Some shortcuts I'm going to take just because we got things to do and got to get dinner made. It's already 6:40. So today what you need, so shepherd's pie historically has ground lamb. So today we ended up getting that. You can find it at your local grocery store. They should have it. If not, just use ground beef. I would use a leaner ground beef. It just cuts down on the grease. I have some carrots here today. Sometimes I use frozen, but since I have fresh ones, I'm going to dice those up for us today. Onion, probably going to use about half of this. Another little shortcut is using cream of mushroom soup. Just makes it a lot quicker, and the gravy's really rich that way. And then also some corn. You can do this off the cob as well, or if you want to use frozen, just whatever you either have or whatever you prefer to use. We're going to top it with some potatoes. Again, shortcut, I'm going to use the powdered potatoes. Instead of using water like the instructions say, I normally use milk. We're going to use fat-free milk today. And then also on top, we're going to put some tater tots, because everybody loves tater tots. So some of the seasonings we're going to be using, Lowry seasoning salt, garlic powder, salt, pepper. We are going to use a little bit of red wine. You don't have to if you don't have it or you don't want to use it. You can always use beef broth. So right now we're going to get going. We'll start chopping our vegetables and we'll be on our way. Alright, so first we're going to cut up the carrots. Just need about half cup's worth of diced carrots, so we'll just get some of those out. These are pretty straightforward to cut. Just cut them down the middle, and then depending on how wide they are, either cut them into thirds or halves again, and then you just dice them up so that they're just these little bite-sized chunks. And you want to try to keep them about the same size. So we're going to continue to cut these. Alright, to cut the onion, we'll cut the root side. You want to leave that alone, but you want to cut this top off. And that can just be thrown to the side. And then cut it in half again. Alright, like we said, we only need half, so I'm going to put this other side over here and deal with that later. And then you just peel off this outer skin. Because once you cook that, if you cook the outer skin, it gets really fibrous. It doesn't taste good. So again, to dice this up, we're going to make 2 cuts along the length. Just put your hand on top firmly. And then we're going to make little cuts along the end so that we can get a nice small dice here. Alright, I did mention we are also going to be using garlic, so I'm going to do these now. So just get the rest of that off. So place the garlic on the board. Just give it a good smash. Do the other one. I could peel that. Alright, and similar to the onion, I'm just going to slice it lengthwise down. And then rotate. Just get a nice small dice. And if you want it smaller than that, feel free to mince it up more, but that's fine for me. Then rotate. We're going to be putting in the garlic after the onions and carrots start to cook. So just keep this off to the side for now. Give it one more little rough chop. Alright, but we'll keep it off to the side. Alright, so that's all the veggies we need. We're going to shimmy over to the stove and get that going. Alright, now we're at the stove. We're going to turn the gas on. about medium heat. Let the pan warm up here. Alright, it's pretty warm to the touch now, so we're going to add some just light olive oil to the pan, get that coated. We're going to add the carrots and onion that we chopped up. Hopefully we don't make too big of a mess. Alright, we're just going to let this cook down until the vegetables are soft, and then we're going to add the lamb. Alright, so this is just about done. So before we add the lamb, we're actually going to add our garlic. So let's make a little gap for that. Add a little bit extra of oil. Let that warm up a bit. And then we're going to add in that garlic that we chopped up. We're just going to let that cook until we can start to smell the fragrance of the garlic, so about 30-45 seconds. Alright, so we're there, so we're going to mix that all together. Alright, then we're going to add the lamb. I like to do the first salt and pepper, so we'll get some fresh ground pepper. Few grinds of salt. We'll stir that in. Alright, the next thing we're going to need is the red wine. So I'm going to go get that open so we're ready once all the lamb is cooked through. Alright, so the lamb's just about cooked through. So we're going to add red wine. Again, if you want to use beef broth, you can do that. And we're not going to add a bunch, maybe quarter cup, third cup, just whatever your preference is. Just adds a little extra depth of flavor. Alright, so the wine's just about cooked off, so the next thing we're going to add is that cream of mushroom soup. Alright, at this point we can turn the heat off because it's going to finish cooking in the oven. So now we have that corn. We don't need this whole can, so just kind of eyeball how much you like in your shepherd's pie. Probably about half, maybe a little more than half. You can also add peas to this. My husband doesn't like peas, so we're going to leave those out for today. You can also do green beans, lima beans. You can almost do like a frozen vegetable, mixed vegetable, frozen vegetable. That would be good. Alright, so this looks mixed through. So now we're going to do the final just season test, so let's take a little bite. We're big pepper fans, so I'm going to be adding a lot more black pepper to this. A little bit of that Lowry's seasoning salt. Give that a taste. Perfect. Nice balance of flavor. Sauce isn't too thin, too thick, and it'll thicken up as we cook it in the oven as well. Alright, so next step, I'm going to make the mashed potatoes real quick, and then we're going to throw everything together and throw it in the oven. Alright, now we're going to be making the mashed potatoes. So instructions, add 2 cups of water to a medium-sized saucepan. Again, we're using skim milk instead of water, just adds a little bit more. Bring that to a boil, take it off the heat, stir it in, let it stand for 5 minutes to absorb everything, and then we're ready to go. Once we're about fully mixed, we're going to cover it and let it sit until we're ready for it. Alright, so just pop the lid on. Alright everybody, now we got everything prepped and ready. So I've got a 8x8 glass dish here, Pyrex. I greased it first just in case. You don't really need to, but I don't really want a lot of dirty messes. So I'm going to pour this in here, the mixture we made. Flatten that out to all the edges. Alright, now I've got the mashed potatoes that we made. And I just want a thin layer on this, so I'm not going to go too crazy. So just kind of dollop it on and gently spread it out. If you don't want to use tater tots, you can always just do mashed potatoes on top. And if you do that, I would definitely put a lot more on top. Even if you want to make homemade, if you got a really good mashed potato recipe, feel free. I just didn't have time today. So see, we still have some left. Save that for tomorrow. Alright, next we have the tater tots. I'm going to be really particular about this. I'm going to line them up so it looks nice. Alright, so now this is ready for the oven. So we have our oven preheated to 425. We're going to put it in there for about 25-30 minutes. You really want the tater tots to be crispy. Everything's cooked. So you don't need to worry about anything being raw. You just want the tater tots really to be cooked through. Alright, so now we're going to go put that in the oven. Alright everybody, so we've made it. If you can see closer, the gravy's really bubbling, really strong, so we're going to give it a couple minutes. But the tater tots are super crispy, steaming away. Definitely recommend you wait a couple minutes, probably 5-10 minutes before you serve this to your family, or just chow down yourself. But I'm going to brave it. I'm going to take a little bit of this gravy, get a little bit of the mashed potatoes, then one of these tater tots, and do a little quick taste test. Hopefully I don't burn the bejesus out of my mouth, but I'm pretty sure it's going to be worth it. Mouth's really watering. It's going to be really good. Definitely a crowd favorite. I make this not too often, but whenever I do, trust me, it doesn't usually stick around for too long. Alright, I think it's pretty safe. Definitely really hot, but definitely really good. Nothing fancy, right? I mean, we use some shortcuts throughout the recipe, but the tater tots are super crispy. the layer of mashed potatoes really adds a nice creaminess because it mixes in with that gravy. And using the lamb, that's a nice surprise. It's something, not just your regular hamburger, this has a little bit different of a flavor. It's definitely very good, but definitely a winner in my book. So that's what, I'm just get a little bit more of that off. Alright, just again, thank you guys for sticking around with us today. I hope you really enjoyed this recipe. Give it a shot. Let us know some of the improvements that you see that could be made, or if there's different things that you like to do when you do make this shepherd's pie. But anyways, let us know what you guys think, and we'll see you in the next video. Thank you.